Hello and welcome to today's class. Dear students, this is Ramakant Mahananda, Teacher English, Kendriya Vidyalaya Badkuhi. In today's class, I am going to teach you about how to write a letter to editor. In my previous video, I had discussed with you about how to write a letter to place an order. I hope you all have gone through my previous video and you have all enjoyed it. By mistakes, if you have not been able to view my previous video, I would request you, please watch the video today. That would help you a lot. Since there are many things that you won't be able to relate here if you have not gone through my previous video. So it would be very much beneficial for you to view my previous video. Anyway, let us start our today's discussion. So first of all, I would like to tell you that who an editor is and why do we write a letter to an editor. If you know these two questions answer, then I think you can never be wrong whenever you will be going to write or draft a letter to editor. So the very first thing that we have to keep it in mind that who an editor is. Let us try to answer this question. An editor is a person who plans, revises, and decides the materials or text contents to be published in a newspaper, journal, or magazine. So, dear children, as far as the newspaper, journal, and magazine publications are concerned, there are some journalists who are being appointed as editor-in-chief. What is the function or what's the duty of an editor? The editor sorts the materials which are relevant for publication or which he or she finds worthy to be published in their newspaper or journal or magazine. Okay, so it is his duty to plan it, means when the news will be published or when the journal will be published. He would revise whatever things are the contents that comes to him, and he would decide it finally. It is the editor only who takes the final decision, means that which particular news article will be published in the newspaper or which particular article will be published in the journal or in the magazine. So it is a very sensible as well as a very responsible job as far as the industry of newspaper, journals and magazines are concerned. Okay, it has a very promising career as well. Okay, if you want to make a career as a journalist after class 12th also, you may go more for it. Okay, now let us try to understand why do we write a letter to an editor. What is the need of writing a letter to an editor, or when do we write a letter to editor? That is very important, that is very crucial. And once you understand these two questions that I have mentioned here, that would ease your work, that would help you understand the question better, it would help you appreciate the question better. And once you understand the question, that means I think you will have hundreds of ways to answer that particular question. So that's why I always focus on how to make the children understand the question. The children should have the conceptual ideas about the question. Okay, suppose all of a sudden you simply have been taught how to write applications to editor and all these things, but you do not know who an editor is. Okay, when the question will be coming in the examination, you'll be getting confused whether you have to write to the editor or you have to write to the manager or you have to write to place an order. You'll be getting confused. So that's why it is very much essential to know the concepts, and this is the concept that I am discussing with you right now. So let us see why we write a letter to an editor. It's a very simple question. We write letters to editors to inform them about certain issues of greater relevance for the society or public. We write them to request to raise our issues through their newspaper. So first of all, it has 2 points. What are the 2 points that I have mentioned? Means why do we write? It is two answers here actually. The first is that we want the editors to be informed about a social issue or a public issue, okay, so that if it comes to his knowledge, if he gets ideas about it, if he can be informed about it, maybe in some other way he would be able to help the public. So that is why we write a letter to the editor. Secondly, what is the second intention of writing a letter to editor? The second motto or the second reason or second objective behind writing a letter to the editor is what you know, to request him to raise our issues through newspaper. As you all know, newspaper, journals, magazines, these all are called print media. And you know, children, in our country, the media plays a great role as far as the publicity is concerned. Suppose you are going to start a new job, going to start a new business. If you can give an advertisement in the print media, or if you can give advertisement in the digital media, then I think more number of people will be informed about your product. More number of people will be getting informations about what you are going to do. And if people get informations about what you are going to do in your business or what you are planning to do, then certainly that would be beneficial for you. The more people know, the more customers would turn to your shop. So the media, newspaper, they play a great role in our society. Okay, they are even called as the fourth pillar of our democracy. Okay, they are called the fourth pillar of democracy. They raise the issues that are related to the societies. Okay, many times what happens, you know, there may be some issues which we cannot, if we raise voices also, government would not listen to it, or the authorities, concerned authorities would not pay attention to our cries also. But what happens if the same thing is published in the newspaper, that gets highlighted, within no time the work will be done. Okay, so it has the importance. Okay, so media plays a greater role in our society. So that's why if you have certain issues that you feel that should be published in the newspaper, so that the concerned authorities would pay attention and your work will be done. So in that context, we usually go for writing a letter to the editor. I hope this part is clear to you now. Now, dear children, I would discuss with you the format. What's the format to be followed when we are going to write a letter to the editor? I think the format is almost same. There is no changes in the format. When we talk about, especially we are focusing on the formal letter. The formal letter has a specific format to be followed, and it comes under the formal letter. It's also a kind of formal letter. Okay, so there is no changes in the format. Sender address comes first, then followed by date, receiver's address, subject, salutation, body of the message, and finally we write the subscription. Okay, this is what I have discussed with you in details in my first video, how to place an order. Okay, in my previous video I have discussed all these things very minutely, very precisely and briefly, and has given a very good overview of it. You can have a better understanding and appreciation of this particular format if you refer to my previous video. Okay, now let us move forward. What is next? The next thing that we are going to discuss today is how to write the subject. This is very important, dear children. This is very, very important. Most of the students, they find a difficulty in writing a good subject. I would say this is a good skill. You need to develop this particular skill. Okay, because why I'm telling so, whenever you are going to write the subject, The subject should be very precise. It should be able to express your feelings within a very short format of the sentence. It should not miss out the important points that you want the reader, you want the receiver to know about it. So from that point of view, the subject writing is the most important thing that you have to take care. But unfortunately, when I evaluate papers even of class 10 children, I find that even the good students of the class, they find difficulty in writing or in developing a good subject. I do not know what is the problem. I think they have not understood the concept of writing the subject. What they simply do, here I am discussing about when I am talking about a very common error, a very common mistake that usually everybody commits. What is the common one? The children simply copy a part of the sentence from the question and they just paste it. They simply copy a part of the sentence from the questions and they just reflect the same in the answer notebook as a subject of that one. But that is not the way to write the subject. Please be very careful. You will be given only average numbers in such cases. You want good numbers to score in this particular part, okay? Then you have to be careful that each and everything should be your own creation. Each and everything should be your own creativity. The sentences that you are writing should be completely different from others, okay? Now let us see. But here I'll be just giving you two examples. I've taken two questions, so that and two different ways also I'll be showing you, means how subject can vary from person to person, okay? And subject can vary from questions to questions. So from that point of view, let us discuss about question number 1. Write a letter to the editor of a national daily requesting him to publish an article on the shortage of drinking water in Chhindwara, ward number 10, since last 6 months. Okay, this is the issue. What is the issue here that you have to understand? Once you read the question, the very first thing that you have to do is to understand the question. If you fail to understand the question, you can never be able to give a good draft. You will never be able to give a good reply. So understanding the question is important. Here the problem is that you have to understand the problem. The subject is always about the problem. What is the problem with you? That is mentioned in the subject. Okay, the problem is that in Chhindwara, ward number 10, there is shortage of drinking water for the last 6 months. From the last 6 months, the people of ward number 10 in Chhindwara, they are having the shortage of drinking water. So that is the issue here. Now you just see, I have written the subject in two different ways. Okay, I've written the subject in 1A. You just look at that. Request to publish an article on shortage of potable water in ward number 10 Chhindwara. Okay, here I have requested in my subject, I am requesting the editor to publish an article on shortage of potable water. Potable water refers to drinking water, okay, in ward number 10 Chhindwara. You see, just if the editor will simply read my point, then he would get to know that, oh, it's not a personal, it is a public issue. It's not a personal issue, it is a public issue. People are not getting water to drink in Chhindwara for the last 6 months. Ultimately, he would choose this particular topic to be published in the newspaper, since he will get convinced that this is a topic which is related to the public, okay, and this is a public issue, and he would definitely raise his voice through his esteemed newspaper. He would definitely raise the voice and get the problem solved. So that's why he cannot miss such a very important point. So that's why your subject should be very, very carefully drafted, so that once the editor will be receiving many queries like you people, Suppose you are writing a letter, me, I am also writing a letter, hundreds of people, thousands of people are writing their ideas and suggestions, but out of that he will only choose the one that is very relevant for the society and for the public. Okay, now come to point number B. What I have mentioned here, shortage of potable water in Chhindwara. I have made it more brief here. The same thing. Okay, I have written in a very short format, and if you write this one also, you'll be getting full marks. Now come to question number 2. What's question number 2 is telling you? Most of the schools are conducting online classes as schools are shut due to corona pandemic outbreak. Expressing concerns over its usefulness, write a letter to editor of a national daily to publish an article to our students about its benefits. So what is the need of writing? Why you are writing a letter? Means online classes are going on, and some students, they may not be taking interest in attending the online classes, or some parents may be discouraging them. Okay, they would be trying to say that don't worry, your classes will reopen soon, and your teachers will be giving the notes and lectures in the school again, so no need to spend your time in front of the mobile and the laptop. So from that point of view, most of the students may not be getting the benefit of it. Okay, so what you want to do, you are writing to the editor to publish an article on that, so that he would, in his writing, in his newspaper, he would encourage the mass, he would encourage the students, and he would also tell them about the usefulness of the online classes, how these online classes can be beneficial for them, how these online classes can be helpful for them, okay, during this pandemic. So from that point of view, I have made two beautiful, very short, very short subjects I have written. Usefulness of online classes during lockdown, and the second one that I have chosen is benefits of online classes for students. Okay, so the editor will get convinced easily, or he would feel that, yeah, that is really, it's a very good topic, this need to be published, because students may be missing their classes. Okay, they may not be taking interest, or they may be getting discouraged by their parents. So from that point of view, this is really very good topic that we have to discuss, my dear children. So in this way, you all can develop a good subject writing. This is very important for you. Okay, now let us come to the body of the letter. Once you write a good subject, next comes the body. Okay, the body is the most important part of the letter. The body is the most important part of the letter, where your issues will be expressed with the help of beautiful words. Okay, if you have a rich vocabulary, if you have good language skills, these two will be an add-on benefit to your writing. Keep it in mind. The children who have good vocabulary and the children who have good language skills, who read newspapers, who read journals, and they have very good writings, they would definitely score good numbers in this particular section. Okay, so now let us see how to write the body of the letter. In my previous video, I had suggested that whenever you are going to attempt the body of the letter, whether that is you are writing to the editor, or you are writing a complaint, or you are going to place an order, always divide the body of the masses to 3 different paragraphs. Okay, why 3 different paragraphs? That I have discussed in my previous video. You may refer to that. Okay, but still I would like to just give an overview of that. If you have missed my video, you just give an overview here. First paragraph may be called introductory paragraph. In the introductory paragraph, what kind of things may be mentioned, what kind of things can be written? In this paragraph, the sender may introduce the purpose of writing the letter, means why you are going to write that particular letter. Why have you decided to write the letter to the editor? That particular point has to be mentioned in the first paragraph. Okay, is that clear? Next, come to the point number 2. Means paragraph number 2. What will be mentioned there? Details of the issue. Once you introduce, means what is the reason that compelled you to write to the editor. Okay, what compelled you to write a letter to the editor has been introduced in the first paragraph. Now you will have to state in details. You have to write in details that what is the real issue, okay, and how the mass is getting affected with it. That has to be mentioned here, okay, because if it is a personal issue and you are the only fellow who is affected with, then your matter will not be published. Be very clear, my dear children, okay. You are the only one who is suffering only because of that particular thing, then that will not be entertained by the editor. The editor would rather suggest you to write a complaint to the concerned department. So if mass is suffering, then only your point will be raised through the newspaper columns, okay. So here you may write how the problem is affecting the masses, how the problem is affecting the public. That has to be mentioned here. Next, finally you will come to the conclusion. What has to be mentioned in the conclusion? In the conclusion part, now in the very beginning you told that what is the cause of writing, okay, and in the second part you have written the effects. I mean to say, in from other perspective I will say, means in the first paragraph we have written the cause, what is the cause that we have been compelled to write. Then in the second paragraph we are coming to the details of that, means what is the effect of that on the public, or what is the how it is affecting the lives of the public. Finally we will try to give a suggestion, or we will try to give our own view on that particular thing, or we may suggest a solution also. Not just a suggestion, we may also suggest a solution, okay. So in this way, in 3 paragraphs we will restrict ourselves to the body, okay. Now let us move to the next part. Means this is very important, my dear children. Now you may be asking yourself some questions, that how to start the first paragraph of the, or how to introduce the first paragraph of the letter. Let's see. Here I have given some beautiful points, dear children. You may refer to this, okay, but I would be glad if you can make your own sentences, your own creativity, your own language proficiency is more important, because the evaluator will easily get to know, okay. If you have learned from some books, you are referring to a reference book, you have simply memorized the lines and have come and simply vomiting out on the paper, then easily the evaluator will get to know about your skills. Somewhere you will miss, maybe e's or r or somewhere some common mistakes will be reflected in your writing. So easily he will get to know that, oh, this is not the original writing, he is trying to copy from somewhere. So from that point of view, your marks will not be getting good. So but in case if you are helpless, if you cannot help yourself, okay, if you feel that you cannot frame your own sentences, then you may stick to some of the good sentences that I have given here. These are some of the best introductory sentences, okay, like, through the column of your esteemed daily, I want to share my views, or I want to write about the problems dash dash dash. Then your problem will be stated. Second, with reference to the above subject, I would like to draw attention of someone, okay, through your popular daily regarding this particular issue. Third, I'm glad to write you about the dash dash dash, means whatever the issues you have. Number 4, I want to address the decks, about the decks through your popular daily. I want to address the public, or I want to address the chief minister, or I want to address the health minister of the state about the pandemic conditions, about the outbreak of corona pandemic in our locality through your popular daily. In this way you can go with this. Finally, I have given one more point also, that is also quite very interesting. You may apply this one also while going for the introductory paragraph. Through the esteemed column of your popular daily, I wish, or I want to inform so and so about so and so, okay, that this and this is happening in my locality. Hundreds and thousands of people are affected with it, but till now the government has not given any kind of solutions, or no government officials has visited our locality, okay. So in this way you have to keep your points, right? Now let us move to the second paragraph, how to conclude the letter. So in the second paragraph, what you will be writing, you will be giving the details of the how the people are getting affected. Suppose people are not getting water to drink there, okay? So what would be the problem, how the people will get affected? The children, the small children face lot of problem while going to school. They need to carry water bottles, but they find it difficult. Sometimes they go to school without their water bottle even. Mothers walk 5 kilometers or 6 kilometers to fetch water to cook food for their family, okay? So in this way, giants and the other family members, they find it difficult during the summer season to collect water for the entire family and manage it, okay? So in this way, whatever the problems they are facing has to be written in the second paragraph. Now let us come to the concluding paragraph. In the third paragraph, you will have to give a suggestion, okay? You'll have to give a suggestion. At the same time, you will have to conclude with a thanksgiving to the editor, okay? With an anticipation, you have to give a thanks in anticipation that your write-up or your article is going to be published in the column or published in the newspaper. You have to be hopeful about that, okay? And for that, you have to give thanks to the editor. So here I have given the ending points, the final line, concluding line of the letter. You may go with any one of these. I would be glad if my writing is considered worthy to be published in your newspaper, okay? Second, I hope you shall consider my request and find a place for it in your newspaper. I look forward to the consideration and cooperation of your daily to raise my issue and help reach the mass. Number 4, I shall be highly grateful for your kind consideration of my writing and publishing of the same in your daily. It would be my pleasure to find my writing in your daily. I shall be ever grateful for this act of yours. So in this way, you have to give thanks to the editor, okay, in anticipation. Now finally, here comes the subscription. The subscription is very I think you are very much familiar with it. Only 3 or 4 words are there, which are usually used by most of the writers, like yours faithfully, yours truly, yours sincerely. But be very careful. I have found mistakes. Means most of the children, they like to write yours sincerely. They think that this is the very good, it sounds good also, but be very careful. If you do not know the spelling of sincerely, please go with yours faithfully. I think you all know the spelling of faithfully, and if you do not know even the spelling of faithfully, then that's miserable. You have to improve your level, okay? So I hope you have understood today's video, and in case of any query, you may kindly give your comments in the comment box. Don't forget to write your comment, whatever the query you have. In case if you did not understand my video also, you just, what is the issue, why could not you understand that particular one, or what is the point that you need more elaboration, you need more description in that, you just give your valuable suggestions. I will be there ready with my videos to serve you all the time. Thank you.